Welcome to the Feminine Truth Podcast with Mary Miranda, a place where you can reconnect with your wild, cyclical, and fierce truth. I am Mary Miranda, a mentor, guide, healer, and intuitive coach. I guide women on a journey of remembrance, reconnection, and embodiment of their inner feminine truth. Join me each week to tap into raw, unedited, and unfiltered sacred conversations to help women tap into their inner feminine truth to become bold, unshakable, and apologetic in who they truly are. Let's jump into today's sacred conversation. Welcome back to the Feminine Truth Podcast with your host, Mary Miranda. This is a little life update of what's been happening and what's been going on and why I took a long pause between my last podcast episode that I released, which was around October of last year, and to today. So let's get into it. Welcome back. This is season 3, and I'm actually so happy and so excited to be here. I took a very long pause and I needed to take a breather to reassess my life and priorities and to do some healing work and some things that came through. So last year in 2022, what am I talking about? Oh my gosh, what's going on? In 2022, I did have a full-time job in corporate, and it was a very toxic work environment where I didn't feel safe. And sexual harassment happened at this job where at the end I ended up resigning because my entire life was affected by this situation and this job, my well being, my mental health. I even had to get professional help on this situation because it was a lot. And I ended up walking away because it was just too much. It got to the point that I could not do it anymore. And after that, things happened at the same time. I went through a breakup with the best relationship I've had. It ended, and I moved to Texas for a little bit. And then I came back, and now I have a different full-time job that is so much safer. It's so much healthier. The work environment is amazing. I'm very happy there. And many months have passed since that situation, but there's still things that I need to work on because I still find myself not feeling so safe around men, especially because of the sexual harassment. And I didn't realize the impact that that had in my entire life and how I carry myself now, especially around men. But I continue to do the healing work around any sexual trauma due to the situation and things that have happened. But I do feel better. I do feel so much safer at this place, and they're fully aware of what happened. So I am at a better place right now. And I also finally um, decided that I was no longer in alignment with the coaching industry that I have been a part of since 2016, 2017, but more so in the last year since 2018, I started following a coach in the entire circle around her. I was fully immersed in that. I fully believed in it, but I ended up being so out of integrity with it, the teachings and everything. So I started questioning everything. I started questioning, like, how do I want to help women? This doesn't feel aligned with me. I don't feel this is within integrity with who I am and my belief system. So I had to pull back and really reassess and take a breather as I was getting a new job, as I was continuing to heal, to really take the time and energy to serve women and to be very intentional in how I wanted to bring value and serve women and help women. And I wanted to do it in a way that was fully aligned with me, with who I am, what I believe in, because I am all about integrity And I had to do a lot of work around this, taking accountability, taking responsibility for some things, and the investments that I've made. I had a lot of work around the how much I invested and how it was just basically very capitalistic driven environment. It was never good enough. Like long gone are the days where 100K a year were so, like, that was like the goal. That was the goal, and all of a sudden it's 100K a month, and then 100K a week, and $1 million months. And it just got so toxic that I just couldn't do it anymore, because it was just like it's never good enough. And it's not like I ever achieved any of those numbers, but the pressure, the comparison, and just it was out of integrity with me, out of integrity with what I desired and how I want to run a coaching business or a mentorship business. So I had to pull back, and I'm like, okay, let's pull back. Let's take a breather, however many months that is, until I feel really connected with my values, my belief systems, and find something that really aligns with me, and I can feel so good in body, mind, and soul, and stand behind 100%. So we are on this journey right now, and this is the reason why I took a breather, because a lot of times you do have to pull back. You do have to take a look at yourself, what's going on in every single area of your life. And I've always done that. And there were areas of my life that needed a lot to work on. So I was like, okay, I'm going to take this time to refocus on me, since I'm out of integrity with the coaching industry, how I was doing my business. I was out of integrity with even the job that I had and so many other things, my living situation, that I literally had to just pull back and be okay with learning to be good enough and worthy in the nothingness, without the business, without posting, not feeling. And then I found that I still had that perfectionist, and I should be posting, I should be doing this, and kind of beating myself up because I wasn't putting myself out there. So I really needed to take a step back and detox from everything, so I can come into full alignment and have this beautiful foundation again that I can come back and be so excited about. And I also had during this journey, and this is just the beautiful thing about healing, that it's always unveiling, unraveling, and it continues. When you think you have healed and you feel so amazing, something else happens, and then you just continue to heal. You meet someone else and they trigger something within you that you thought you had healed, and you're always on this healing journey. But at the same time, I realized that I was so caught up in healing so much that I was not really enjoying and living my life and enjoying who I was and enjoying and being very present in my life, because it was always, oh, I gotta heal from this, I gotta heal from that. And you can get this sort of addiction that it's never gonna be good enough. And I also found that in fitness, that it was never good enough, never good enough. Like, you reach a goal, you reach a PR, a personal record, or you reach like a certain body weight or something, and it's never good enough because you want something else. So I even have to pull back on the way I was working out, the way I was eating, every single area of my life. I literally have to pull back and reassess and see and realized that things needed to change. Things were not working out anymore. And I'm also like at the age that perimenopause is showing up. I started getting like all this hot flashes, sweating. I didn't know what it was. And I'm just like, well, I'm at that age at 39 that perimenopause is going to be present, and it's going to be something that is going to be happening to me. And if you are aware of my journey, you know that I have endometriosis. I had a uterine fibroid tumor removed 5 years ago, and I also have just one ovary. So I was doing healing work on that. My periods have been great. I probably had like 1, 2 periods that were a little painful. Other than that, things have been amazing when it comes to my reproductive health. And I finally also came into full acceptance and alignment in being single by choice, being fully single by choice, child free by choice, and owning that I am an intersectional feminist who is here for women of color, who is here for minorities, who is here for all those women who you feel like they don't have a voice. I finally feel so aligned with that. And I know that when people hear the word feminist, it can be very triggering because you're so used to when somebody's called says that they're a feminist, or you hear someone says feminist, you immediately go into someone that hates men, when it's not even about that. Being a feminist is about a choice. It's about helping women honor their choice, their bodies, know that they have a voice. That's basically what it means. So I'm going to be doing a podcast when it comes to that. Also, the child free by choice and how I finally came into full acceptance of that decision, and being single by choice. And this whole thing has happened simply because since I have been single and fully focused on me, on my journey, on healing every single area of my life, I started to just dissenter from men, dissenter from everything that I have believed before. And even if I didn't believe it, things that I was doing subconsciously, they were still sort of centering men in a way. So I had to really turn the focus back on me, put myself in the pedestal, which I never really took myself down from the pedestal, but it felt like I was still centering men, that they were also up in the pedestal with me. So I had to kind of be like, no, detox from men, detox from dating, detox from so many things. Let's turn the focus back on you, Mary. Decenter men fully. Be single and celibate. Be okay with this decision, which I was. I've been desiring to be single for the longest time. And after my last relationship ended, I was heartbroken because that I did fall for that man. Things didn't work out. It's great. I've reconnected with him. He still says he loves me, and it's all great, but it's one of those things that we didn't have the same vision for life at the end, and how we wanted to spend kind of like the rest of our lives, like the same path. So we had to end the relationship. And now that everything has happened, I just said, okay, what can feel so good to start doing right now? Even when you're doing healing, if you don't know exactly how you want to come back, I started connecting with TikTok, and I just started creating TikToks and just talking about things. So I've been focused on TikTok mainly. That's my platform. My platform right now, it's at Feminine Truth. That's the link that you can find me on TikTok. And I talk a lot about kind of like decentering men. I'm going to start talking more about that too. Dating, heartbreak, situationships, divorce, things like that. But now everything is so much more clear to me. And I want to share more of my lessons that I have learned, how I moved and healed from those things, because a lot of times you do want to know how someone has been able to heal. When you hear just do the inner work, just feel your feelings, it's very vague. It's like, but yeah, but how do I do that? I wish I would have had someone like me when I started healing in 2012. I wish I would have had someone like me that told me about emotional abuse, the red flags, the love bombing, the devaluing, the discarding stage. I wish somebody would have told me so many things that I know now. And I was so naive. I was so unaware in my 20s and even in my early 30s. And now that I am at this place that I'm like, gosh, I wish I would have been my older sister, or I wish I would have met someone like me that would have helped me sooner so I wouldn't have made so many mistakes. And at the same time, it's like, yeah, but if you hadn't made all those mistakes in a way, or you hadn't gone through all those situations, then you wouldn't be who you are today. Even at this age, that a lot of people see me and they're like, oh gosh, you're so not the poster woman for the American dream. You don't have your things aligned, like you know how society thinks and says that somebody is successful is because they own a home, they're married, they have children, and all those, so like what people deem to be success. I am none of those things. I am paving my own path. And I don't want those things to put a pressure on me, because I'm not even in alignment with any of those. I'm divorced. I'm single by choice. I'm child free. Do I believe in marriage? It's something that I'm still working through because of what happened in my marriage. But right now, it's like, how can I come back into my truth? How can I share more of me, more things that are vulnerable, but also from a place that it's going to be, this is what I learned from this situation. This is what I went through. This is what I learned from it. This is how I heal from it. This is how I move through it. And this is who I am today, and how that situation made me who I am, or helped me become who I am. Because there's a lot of times that we don't deserve to go through all those situations. And then when you think about it, why did we go through so many of those situations? And this is something that I was on meditation, and I was kind of also journaling about that. I'm like, I did not go through every single thing that I've gone through for nothing. Something needs to come out of this. Like, I need to help someone with this. Someone, even if it's just one person, one day is going to tell me, hey, what you shared or how you heal from that really helped me speed up my healing process. Or that advice that you gave, that helped me not get into that situation. Or I left so much faster from that relationship because I realized the red flags. Something, and this is what I say, you did not go through all of that in vain. There is a reason why you went through everything that you went through. And you should never let another person tell you and put you down and use your past experiences and your trauma against you to make you feel you're not enough, to make you feel you're not worthy, to make you feel that you're a train wreck or chaos. Never let someone use your past situations, mistakes, traumas against you. Your experience is valid, what you went through is valid, and there is a reason. And maybe the reason doesn't make sense right now, but one day when you're on the other side, the reason is gonna become clear. Because a lot of times, even when I go through things, when I'm in the mess, when I'm in the thick of things, I don't understand why, and I don't want to bypass my feelings and what I'm going through, my experience, by saying, oh, one day I'm gonna get through this and I'm gonna find the reason why I went through this. No, I don't bypass it. I feel it. I feel the rage and the anger and the injustice. I feel like this shouldn't be happening to me. Why is this always happening to me? I go through all of those like everybody else. And then I know that one day I'm going to find the silver lining and the light. But in the meantime, I don't look at the end of the tunnel for the light. I light the path one step at a time while I'm on the journey. I like the path one step at a time. I don't look at the end of the tunnel because I know it's going to happen. I know it's going to come. I know I'm going to move through it, but it doesn't help me to know and bypass my situation by saying one day you're going to see the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm like, no, I need the light right now. Like, I need to move through this one step at a time. And sometimes it's just one step at a time. So if you're going through any hard situation, you're not alone. I hope this podcast helps you. I hope that if I share anything in my own journey, my own experiences, or people that I invite on my journey, on this podcast, any conversation, any of the guests, any of the experts, that it helps you. That is my true hope. And I'm really excited for this new season and all the surprises that are in store and what's to happen. I'm so open for abundance, for the possibilities, and for amazing things to come into my life in this podcast, and for every single one of you. Thank you so much for following this podcast, for subscribing, for leaving reviews. If you have, if you haven't, it would mean so much to me if you left a review. Let me know your thoughts, your insights, what other topics I need to talk about, things that resonated with you, things that helped you, anything that is in your heart and soul, please share with me. Also, if you feel called to share this on social media, if you feel this episode can help, and any episode can help anyone, please share them with that person. It's not so much so my podcast can grow, but I believe that if something helps one person, that is so good enough for me. And that's all I can ask for, one person at a time. And even if only one person listens to my episode, it is okay. because I know I'm putting my heart and soul into this, and I genuinely want to help women. I genuinely want to bring value to women. And I am so happy to be back. So stay tuned. Thank you for being here. Thank you for listening and taking the time and energy out of your day to listen to this. And I cannot wait to bring you more valuable episodes. And I hope to build a beautiful community, and that you reach out to me and we can get to know each other. Thank you so much. And thank you so much for being part of this conversation on the Feminine Truth Podcast. This podcast is for you, for me, for us, for the feminine collective. Thank you for spending your time and energy with us. I so appreciate it. Please, it would mean so much if you could share this in your Instagram stories, in your Facebook stories, or everywhere, so this message gets spread and others can find this podcast and this conversation. And if you feel like someone needs to hear this message, please share with them. I would be so grateful for you, and let us know your thoughts, how this has helped you, how you connected with this topic, or how this has felt in your body. And lastly, if you feel the pull, I would be immensely grateful if you could take the time to leave a review so more people can find my podcast and this conversation. I'm sending you so much love, and I'll see you on the next episode.